Hey, what's up, YouTube? Thank you guys for watching. Just want to share a little information about my Red Isletas here. So I have about 10 Red Isletas. Well, I have 10 Red Isletas in here, and they ranging from the sizes of 6.5. I think the smallest guys in here maybe about 4.5. I have about 2 or 3 of them that's about 4.5. The other ones are ranging about I would like to say they big and beefy for this age of Red Isletas, and they are anywhere, the bigger ones, from 5.5 to, I want to say, 6.5, 7 inches. 7 inches may be the biggest guy right here in the middle. And they so thick, beefy and thick. This one guy is actually catching up with the biggest. This one here is catching up with the biggest one in the back right there. But anyway, so my goal is, as planned, was to start trying to break this group up and start trying to pay them up. And once I break them up, you know, I'll be able to see a little more of the coloration in them, the bar pattern and all. But these guys are actually, they were bred by my man Gil, and these are third, fourth generation off of the Red Isletas I bred back in 2017 off of 2 different breedings I did. I did a breeding to my Benetton fish, which is a female. I bred her first. I bred her to my all-time favorite Red Isletas that I've owned. His name was Sue Surf. And then the second 2 breedings I did with, and they were kind of back-to-back spawns. I did with Benetton and my second favorite, well, my third favorite Red Isletas, which was Red Tiger. So Benetton was my second favorite Red Tiger. Red Isletas, and Red Tiger was my third favorite. I do have on my video, you can see my my Red Isletas lineup. My Red Isletas lineup on this same YouTube page. Just punch in Sean Kennedy Red Isletas lineup, and it should pop up for you. You'll get a chance to see where these the ancestry of these Red Isletas here, where they come from, and the that's a nice female right there, where they come from, and where we're going. Basically, you'll see how their ancestors look as adults. So the first group of Isletas I got was from my man here in Baltimore named William, or Will, you know, and he was able to acquire his Red Isletas from Sean Armatrot, who of course got his Red Isletas from Jeff Raps. Jeff Raps, we know, he was the one that collected and introduced the hobby to Red Isletas. So I had a quick conversation at a fishing convention with Jeff Raps, just asking him about not only the Red Isletas but the gold bar Midas that he collected at San Francisco Libre Managua, Rio Managua, and he was, you know, gave me the rundown on all of it. So I feel like I know a lot about the history of the Red Isletas because I got it from the source. You know, I wish I could have got it on camera, you know, the quick interview that I did with him, but he's no longer in the hobby. You know, he's living a good life now. So but I feel like I know, you know, a lot, or just as much as anybody that's not named Jeff Raps, about the Red Isletas, which is actually my second favorite of the subs. Well, they are considered Midas, basically just a different race, but of the subspecies of Midas, this is actually my second favorite. The first being the Hoga Boomerums. My first Hoga Boomerum name was Hollywood, and he made so much of a big impression on me, you know, that he was not only one of my favorite fish of all time, but that particular species, you know, kind of holds near and dear to my heart, all because of my Hollywood fish. But I've had other Hoga Boomerums throughout the time, never a pair at once, but now I have a pair, and I'm just waiting for these guys to spawn. And again, I could credit my guy Gil for helping me acquire these. They were bred by Miami Cichlids. I think his name is Edgar, down in Florida. But anyway, with these guys here, like I said, their great-great-grandmother name is Benetton, and the reason why I called her Benetton is if you go back on some of my old videos, you'll see that she was a rather peculiar Red Isletas in color. When she would come into breeding dress, she would change these fabulous colors, like a bright red, a bright yellow, like a fireball, yellow oranges color. So if you think about the fashion company Benetton, their slogan is the many colors of Benetton, and so that's where I got the name for her from, because she was just spectacular in color. So I'm so glad that these guys are line bred on Benetton, because maybe I'll get another Benetton, which is a Red Isletas, displaying those amazing colors of that yellow and orange and bright red. But yeah, so you know, that's pretty much for me, you know, the goal is to create another Benetton by acquiring these 10 guys. And again, these are like third, fourth generation my stuff. I do have another Red Isletas. He's about 11 or 12 inches. His name is Zeke. He's super mean. He's been in isolation since he's been here. But my goal is to take one of these females and pair it up with Zeke within the next few weeks. I'm actually on summer break from school, so I could actually start pairing up some of these fishes. I could start pairing up some of these fish and get some spawning going with these Red Isletas. Zeke to me is so Zeke comes. So this is how the Red Isletas been spread through the hobby by me. All right, so my first breeding with Benetton was with my fish Sue Surf. They had a small spawn, and again, you can go back on my YouTube channels and see that spawn there. The second breeding I did with Benetton, I paired her up with my Red Tiger fish, and Red Tiger was another Sean Armatrout. So Benetton was a Sean Armatrout bred Isletas. Sue Surf was my very first Isletas. He was bred by Sean Armatrout. He was F2. Red Tiger was also bred by Sean Armatrout. I think he was F3, and Benetton was F3 as well, if you want to go that far down in the filial system. But anyway, so the second breeding with Benetton was a back-to-back breeding with Red Tiger, and again, both of those breedings are on my video, on my old videos as well, so you can go check those out. So when I did the breeding back in, I want to say 2016, 2017, I had an unfortunate breakup in my family, you know, so I had to clean up my fish room. So some of the Red Isletas fry that I had, I gave to my guy Ike, who, rest in peace Ike, who was here in Baltimore, and I gave it to a buddy of mine named Ray Cooper, some of the fry, and then I gave some of the bigger fish to another guy from DC who just pretty much, I don't know what he did with them. I went to check on them a few months later, and he told me somebody else in his family had them, and I never heard from him or those particular fish again. But anyway, so through Ike contribution, I don't know what happened to the ones that Ray had, but these come down from the ones that I gave Ike. So Ike had, unfortunately, he came down with an illness, and he had to clear out his fish room. So he then traded or gave his fish room to Joe Burke, a guy here in Baltimore. And then Joe did some breedings with the Red Isletas that he got from Ike, which is Ike had a combination of Sue Surf Red Isletas and also Red Tiger Red Isletas, both bred to Benetton. So Joe Burke did some breeding, and he was able to pass some of the stuff around in the hobby. So my Red Isletas Zeke comes down off of that first breeding, I believe, that Joe did. And then so the relatives, or the same fish that was in the same spawn as Zeke, the parents of these fish came out of. So Zeke was actually, I would say he is a grandson of Benetton, and even Red Tiger or Sue Surf. And then again, the parents of these guys was in the same spawn as Zeke. So again, they were grandkids to Benetton, which makes these a line bred Benetton Red Isletas. But so anyway, I got up with my guy Gil, and he bred these bad boys. And again, these are third or fourth generation my stuff. And yeah, so they actually fourth generation. So so again, there's not a lot of Red Isletas in the hobby anymore. So these bad boys are super valuable to me. Hopefully I could repopulate the hobby with Red Isletas, but it may come at a cost, because again, it's not, you can't even really get them in a pure form anymore like these. These are the descendants from the ones that Jeff Rapps collected in the swampy waters near Grenada. They don't have any other line in them or anything going on with these fish. Again, these come directly from Jeff Rapps through Sean Armitrout and my guy Will here in Baltimore. So I just wanted to give a quick rundown on, you know, my Red Isletas here and the lineage on this one, because like I said, I could trace these guys back to their great grandparents, which I've owned and fed all of them. So alright guys, thanks for listening. Again, the Red Isletas is here, you know, looking to get some spawning pretty soon. As soon as I can get them paired, take one of these females to my male Zeke, and then get a couple pairs in here. You know, we're gonna populate the hobby with the Red Isletas. My lines are fried. It's not that many of them. You know, they're doing pretty good. They look like they're growing a little bit. They might be reaching. They like. I see some of them may be still at that 1/4 inch. Some of them may be a little bit above the 1/4 inch. But I think moving them into the 20 gallon will actually help them grow a little bit faster than when I had them in the breeding box. The parents are doing pretty good. You know, hopefully they'll be spawning again pretty soon. But yeah, man, you know, I'm waiting for my Hoga Boomerang to figure out what they're gonna do. That's gonna be a real big spawning for me as well, because I've never been able to spawn Hoga Boomerang. I just acquired a female citronellus for my citronellus Rosabella, which is a male, but I'm keeping the name Rosabella for that particular citronellus. You know, I thought when I first got it, thought it was a female, but turned out to be a male. So Rosabella is a male. I'll be showing Rosabella pretty soon. I'll be showing Zeke pretty soon. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and you know, please like, share, and subscribe. I've never asked to do that before, but I'm trying to grow the channel, so like, share, and subscribe. Share it on your boards, your boards on Facebook. Share it on your you could re-share it on your Facebook account, your Facebook accounts. You could also share it on your YouTube accounts or Instagram or whatever social media account you have. But make sure you reshare this. Sean Kennedy, All Things Amphilophus on Facebook group. Feel free to join that group. I show a lot of my videos on there. I haven't really been active as much as on it, but I need to get that back up and running and popping like it was a few years ago. But yeah, but that's where we are with these with the fish. All right, thanks again for watching and listening. I appreciate you guys. Feel free to comment, negative, positive, whatever it is, you know. Any questions, comments, or concerns, also comment on it. Peace.